Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever podcast of this channel. Today, I have my dad. What's good, Dad?
Son, how's it going?
I'm good. Sir, I want to ask you a question. You know, my whole channel is all about self improvement, all about becoming the best version of yourself, or at least trying to get into that. So, a question I'd like to ask you is, have you ever been on any self improvement journey any time in your life? And how's that gone for you?
Wow, that's a great question. Self improvement is often misunderstood by people. They think you need to improve, there's something wrong about yourself. But actually, self improvement is not about fixing something which is incorrect, it's about growing. As you know, the nature is about growth.
Yeah.
And every living thing is growing.
Hmm.
When you stop growing, that's the end of the life. So self improvement and growth is synonym. When I was a boy, very young, maybe about year 8 or year 9,
Yeah.
I read a book from Sweat Martin. Sweat Martin has written many books on self improvement.
Yeah.
This was the Hindi version, and I don't know, my brother or someone got it, and I read it, and it influenced me quite a lot. Then I read another book about self improvement from an Indian writer,
Okay.
and that inspired me quite a lot as well.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was self improvement, it just made a lot of sense to do something which will make you feel better or which will improve yourself. And I think knowingly or unknowingly, I started on this path to self improvement. And as I was reading more and more, I realized that it is something which can enrich your life,
Yeah.
something that can live your life, both your personal life, I was a student, your student life,
Yeah.
your family life,
Mm.
in a more enriching way.
In a more enriching way.
So, self improvement is something which is not separate to how you live, it is something that is embedded in your life on how you do anything and everything. So, it's a transformation from doing to being.
Wow.
A lot of time we do things because it makes sense, it looks good, but you may not be at core that person. But
Right.
self improvement actually makes you that person at core, and then what you're doing is what you are. So your thought, your words, and your action,
Yeah.
they all seem to synchronize.
So you're saying self improvement isn't just something you do; it becomes a part of your lifestyle. It becomes a part of your core, as you say.
That's correct.
It's not something you just do as a hobby. It becomes integrated into your life.
That's
and it becomes
exactly
a part
right.
of you.
Yes, and that's where it becomes effortless.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have to think what to do, because it will become your nature, it becomes your personality, you become what you truly want to become, and that takes time, that takes effort. It's like building anything.
Yeah.
Takes time, effort, and repetitive thing, and it's even when you think you reach a point, it doesn't mean you stop. You need to constantly doing it. That's why self improvement is not a destination, it is a journey.
Because people, especially my viewers, and I was a part of this as well, we think that self improvement, is about doing stuff which makes you feel good. Not immediately, but you want immediate results. For example, you start reading a book and you want to say you're already a much smarter person. Or you want to start taking cold showers like I did and say that you've immediately become disciplined. But as you say, it's not like that. It's a slow process.
You can pretend that you achieve something
Yeah.
by doing it for a short period of time,
Yeah.
but you'll find that at core, if you are not what you want to be, very soon you'll get pulled back into your original status or your original personality,
Like the old habits.
or the old habit.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of effort and time, and that's why self improvement is a slow journey. You cannot fast forward this. It has to be built brick by brick, and that's where most people, when they read a book,
Yeah.
they realize, oh, because I know it means I can do it, or this is I become that.
Yeah.
But really, you can read any book and make a lot of sense, but that doesn't mean that transformation has happened inside you.
No.
Only thing is, you know a knowledge, you know the theory,
Mm.
but you don't know the practical side of it.
Bingo.
To make something practical,
Mm.
or having that knowledge as an applied knowledge,
Yes.
it's a very different ballgame.
So what you're saying is there's a fundamental difference between knowing something and understanding something.
Correct.
And I feel like this is a catch that a lot of people get into. Is that, for example, they can say that they've read a book on how to live a good life. But if they haven't experienced that, actually let me think of a better example. Someone who does maths, you can know, Pythagoras theorem, you're an engineer.
Pythagoras theorem, yes.
Let's say like a 7-year-old, 6-year-old kid who only knows his plus and division, he can know what Pythagoras theorem is. That a squared plus b squared equals c squared. He can know all about it. But if you ask him to do it, he won't know how to do it. Because he doesn't understand what Pythagoras theorem is. He's read all about it. He can tell you what it means, he can tell you how to, what it means, etc., etc. But he can't do it because he doesn't understand it. It's kind of a similar...
That's a very good example, actually, and very beautifully explained as well, because that's how it is. If someone can explain to you things in a simple way and it makes complete sense,
Yeah.
the credit is not that you have a great understanding. The credit is the person who's explaining has gone deep enough to simplify a complex concept into a simple way.
Bingo.
Being simple is very hard,
Yeah.
and that's what it is, that sometimes we understand things, but the reason why we are not able to apply is not because there's something wrong with those concepts. It's our own complexity,
Or an understanding.
our own understanding.
Yeah.
So we got to work. When you talk about self-improvement, you got to start working at many different levels. You got to start working at your thought level. Then you got to start working at your intellect level.
Yeah.
And then you got to start working at your verbal level, and then get to start working at your action level.
Right.
So all these things you need to work on, but at a point, if they all becomes in synchronization, then you realize that yes, it's an effortless journey, and then the self-improvement journey becomes faster.
Okay.
And it's good that if your audience are starting it early in the age,
Yes.
then it's probably easier, because the layers which have been deposited on their pure intellect are less.
Yeah. And they say that it's kind of easier to start self-improvement earlier as opposed to later. Because now our audience, if they're in high school and university, they're not working full-time jobs yet. They still got time, like you guys. Even people with full-time jobs, but I'd say, people our age or my age, like 16 to 20, 22, you can easily make time to read a book. You can easily, or not easily, but you can choose to take cold showers whenever you want. There's nothing stopping them, right? It's their own thought. You have all this time right now, like my dad said, to start early, to start your self-improvement journey early, for the fundamental nature of delayed gratification. Because your future self will be proud that you started now. Your future depends on the actions that you do now, right?
But you think when you're in that age group of 15 to 21 years,
Yeah.
you think there's something that stops you from starting your self-improvement journey? What is it? Is it the priority, or is it the peer pressure, or it is you are distracted by other things, or combination of something?
I think especially because of people, or because of our generation, like this channel always talks about, we're too hooked onto instant gratification.
Right.
And it's so hard to get into self-improvement because self-improvement is all about delayed gratification. It's about sacrificing your current pleasure for long-term future pleasure. And sadly, that will never feel the same as instant gratification, even though it's a better thing. Like, for example, someone who is trying to stop Instagram, or like let's say TikTok, watching like 5-second videos constantly every day, and they're trying to stop that. And the solution they heard was to read a book. And they read for like 10-20 minutes every day, and they keep thinking to themselves, why doesn't this book just, it's not entertaining. It's not giving me the same happiness as scrolling through TikTok mindlessly for an hour does. And that's because they have to realize that it never will. The pleasure that they get from reading a book, which there is pleasure, they will never feel that like burst of happiness as compared to when they're, watching YouTube videos, when they're watching new media every day. So they have to realize that you will never feel that instant pleasure you will from reading a book. However, your future self will benefit tremendously more than if they're just, let's say, watching YouTube videos all day. That is the power of delayed gratification. They'll never feel the same as instant gratification, which is why it is so hard for even like 13 to 18-year-olds, or actually let's just say 15 to 22-year-olds to start their self-improvement journey.
Right, that's a great concept of delayed gratification.
Yeah.
So does that mean as humans we are designed for instant gratification? Or is that something that society teaches us?
I think it's more, I wouldn't say society is doing the wrong thing, but society is kind of
creating that environment around us.
It's kind of fulfilling our needs way too much.
Oh, okay.
Like let's say for example, like this is a great analogy I heard. Back in the caveman days, let's say you woke up and you were feeling hungry. There wasn't any microwavable food, there was no Uber Eats, no Deliveroo. So what you do, or what they do theoretically, is they'd go out, they'd kill the boar.
Mm-hmm.
They'd come home, they'd cut it up, heat it with the fire, and then they'd eat their food, their first meal of the day, right?
Right.
That's not instant gratification. They have to work hard. They have to
Right.
physically work hard. They have to be patient to cook the food. They may have not even found food that day, but there was a long process. However, now, if you wake up and you're feeling hungry, you can, because of the nature of Uber Eats, Deliveroo, you can order any type of food you want. You'll get it within the hour without even having to move from your bed.
So you're saying that because of all these facilities and the technology and the availability of things in an easy way,
Yeah.
has changed our mindset to expect instant gratification in everything else?
In everything else.
Everything else.
Because that's only for food. Then if you want something like, any entertainment, you want to...
You can order something on Amazon.
Yep, products. Any product you want, you can get it same day delivery now.
Same day delivery. But before, if we had to order something, it probably come by post or in a mail. It may take few days. So it was a kind of delayed gratification in that sense.
Yeah.
But I'm curious because when we were kids, we didn't get things that easily.
No.
We would wait for either a special festival to get new clothes,
Yeah.
or even to go to movie. We had to wait and achieve something to be able to watch a movie.
Yep.
So now, of course, you can do all these things easily. Is that fundamentally changing us from inside and creating problems or stopping us from improving ourselves?
I'll take two sides of the story.
Mm-hmm.
I think it definitely is. And we can tell, viewers, you can tell by like your friends and stuff, or even close friends, best friends, whatever it is. You can tell that they're always consuming media all the time. Always checking their phones, replying to texts just like this, scrolling through Instagram, social media, all of that. This is fundamentally changing how us humans kind of live in this world. We're grateful for that. Thankful for technology, for like instant communication with lovers and family from all around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously it's not that good as well, in the sense that people are getting distracted just like this. They can talk to anyone just like that. There's no delay anymore. But for us on self improvement, I'd say this is also kind of an advantage because now the small niche of people who are consistently working on themselves, delaying gratification, not succumbing to the technologies and the instant pleasures of the world, we are now in a much higher state compared in a comparison state compared to all those other people who are living their whole lives instant gratification. The distinction is much higher now, as you can see that, right? Because instant gratification has become so popular, everyone's doing it. And the little niche people who are not, they're slowly rising up. They're becoming better and better and better. They're becoming the top 5% of the world. And the people stuck on instant gratification, they're not moving. And as technology gets better, and instant gratification becomes even better, it's already good now, it becomes even better, we're done for.
So when you say they are growing, improving, and getting to the top 5% of the world,
Yeah.
is that top 5% mentally, socially, economically? What do you define this top 5%? Because I'm thinking if you are a young boy of 16 to 21,
Yeah.
and you're programmed to instant gratification and everyone around you is seems to be enjoying life by instant gratification, and you think, I'm not living the life, I'm doing things which is not giving me instant gratification, and what is the motivation for you to do this, and what do you help to achieve out of this? If I was a young person, this is the thought that will cross my mind.
It's like, what's the point of...
What's the motivation, what's the reason why one would go on self-improvement?
And go on and choose delayed gratification.
Correct.
Yeah, see, that's hard because someone asking that question, let's say they're in the habit of... They're not even in the habit of self-improvement. They're always doing instant gratification things. They're going to look around their peer mates and see everyone else doing the exact same thing. So then, obviously, like you said, they'd be like, why would I want to change this? So this is where we bring perspective into it. Because their perspective right now is just the people around them. They don't have the vision to see what more they can bring out of this life. For example, let's talk about jobs real quick. With a job, you work a particular number of hours per day, per week, and you get a defined amount of money per hour you work. This is kind of instant gratification. Sure, you're working and stuff, but you spend 1 hour, you get this much money. Boom. Instant gratification. But then you see something like a business. For many businesses which we know, you don't get profits for the first few years or something for your new business. So then people are like, why are they going to take that risk when in the opposite hand, I can spend 10 hours now and get, let's say, $20 an hour, get $200 at the end of the day guaranteed.
Right.
But as we know, all the richest people in the world have businesses, and all those guys, they sacrificed many years of, or not sacrifice, they did sacrifice many years of instant gratification for the delayed gratification, and look at them now.
Right. Okay. I understand your perspective, your analysis of the perspective as to what will help you in long term in life.
Yeah.
And that is true for everything. You can achieve something. It's almost like fast food. You do something, you quickly eat, your hunger is done, fulfilled. But in long term, you're affecting your health.
Yep.
But as against you have fresh food and you eat it, but in long term, your health is good.
Yeah. And you may not like salad, for example. You may not like the way salad tastes right now.
Yes.
But then in the long term, your body's going to thank you so much more for having salad as opposed to having a cheeseburger from Macca's or from McDonald's.
Right.
Yeah.
So, for someone who is in this age group, your audience,
Yeah.
they're thinking, okay, so I understand that I get instant gratification, but that may not build me as a person, or will not bring any discipline in your life, because when you're young, this is a time when you are actually building your habits, knowingly or unknowingly.
Yeah.
And you're becoming what you will be for rest of your life. And that's why at this time, if you're focusing on self-improvement, although it may sound like you're doing things which no one else is doing, but that is what differentiating you, because when you reach 21, you'll become a person. Most of your habits, your values, your core values are built.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you can build on that, but to fundamentally change everything that you built from, say, when you turn 12 years to 21 years, it's very difficult.
Very difficult.
You probably need to just isolate yourself from completely, clean up everything and then rebuild it. So this is a really good age to be guided by someone and understand the importance of self-improvement, because self-improvement now, initially it may look difficult, but once you get into it, you can actually start enjoying it.
Yep.
And then you will not really bother if others understand what you're doing or not. You know that what you're doing is right.
And you're doing it for yourself.
And you're doing it for yourself.
A lot of reasons that people get into self-improvement, at least initially, is to kind of show off to others.
Okay.
It's like, oh, look at this guy. He's on self-improvement. He's reading books now. He's meditating. He's journaling. He's gratitude journaling. People use this as a way to boast.
Right.
Like, look, their ego.
Mm-hmm.
As we know, ego is it's hard to control, but if you can control, it will change your life. Anyhow, that's another video. They boost their ego a lot when they start self-improvement. They show off to everyone how much better of a person they are compared to them, how much of a better person they are themselves compared to their peers, compared to everyone else around them. But then this is no longer self-improvement, is it? Sure, you're kind of improving yourself by you reading and journaling, but you're not improving yourself. It won't last for a long time because you're doing it to impress others, as you said.
I agree. I think the self-improvement has to be for your own self.
Has to be.
Not for anyone else.
No.
And self-improvement is a slow journey.
Yep.
And sooner you start it, I think better it is.
Yep.
And then it will become a way of life.
Yes.
But the core inside you which changes, and you become someone who is living a life which is full of values and discipline. It may look hard for some people as to how you can live a life of self-discipline, and good values and being nice to others. It may they may find it difficult, but because you will become that person, for you it's a natural way of living.
Yep, it's normal.
It's normal. So that's another thing, that once you become that person, whether it's your business life, your social life, your personal life, your financial life, your future life, it starts to reflect in every aspect of your life.
Yeah.
And those values which you build will then make you a better person. And when I say make you a better person, what I mean is that you will always stand for truth, you will be decisive, you will always be non-judgmental, and you will be then living a life which is based on values and not changing your value system depending on the situation.
Bingo.
So I think once you reach a level of at least some base level of self-improvement, then building on top, it becomes easier.
Much easier.
Much easier.
They say it's like the starting of the journey is the hardest part. Actually starting to build those habits. I said the first 3 to 6 months.
Right.
When you're starting to build these habits, that's the hardest, because as you said, you're building the foundation. The foundation is the biggest block for you to add upon. If your foundation is not good, how can you build a tower on top of it?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So maybe we should also talk about what are some of the things that can be done in a practical way
Mm.
to start the self-improvement journey,
Mm.
and what steps the young people can take in a day-to-day life
Mm.
consciously to actually progress further in their path to the self-improvement.
To self-improvement.
Maybe another video for that.
Gentlemen, if you guys want to see another video where we talk about this, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below that you want to see the video. Dad, this has been fun. I hope you enjoyed being on the first ever podcast of this YouTube video, of the YouTube channel.
Thank you.
Did you enjoy?
I liked it, yes, and it was great fun talking to your viewers. Thank you for inviting me.
And we'll see you very soon again.
See you. Bye everyone.
Bye everyone. Thank you for viewing.